A second.
And Jerry will have to send out this one, right?
Yeah.
Probably send out the wrong one, right?
I'll have Jerry change it on the
Okay.
website. I'm done getting the started here. A second. There we go. Okay, you're all set.
Okay, somebody got it. Somebody.
There's Bill. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yes, I can hear you. Who's on the iPhone?
I'm on the iPhone.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, how we got everybody? John, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Bill. Can you hear me?
Yes. Vernon, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Mayor.
Okay, David?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Janet? Jason?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna log off and log back in. Is it real choppy for you guys?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna log back. I'm gonna restart my computer quick.
Okay.
I don't know.
Jack, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, we got you. Lens?
Jack,
Yes, I'm here.
Linda?
Okay. Chief Raleigh, can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you. Ron Richardson, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Carrie? Can you hear us?
Can hear you guys. Happy New Year.
you too.
Good.
Reverend Rossi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Good. How are you tonight, Mayor?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good, good to hear.
I think we're getting everybody here and
You got quite the echo to your voice, Bill.
yeah, I'm gonna shut my door.
As he walks away.
We're here?
Yep.
That's it? Is my mic on and everything?
Guess so, Chris.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey,
Happy New Year, everybody.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, you yeah, you can go there. All right. Is there an echo now on my voice?
No.
Okay, good.
so I want to do a shout out though to Tiffany Taylor before we begin for doing an awesome job making me a trophy out of my last deer. So.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it.
Oh, I love it. Guess I should probably also give a shout out to Chief Rowley and Bob Ring for putting up with me on Saturday.
You're looking better than I thought.
I was rough on Sunday. Saturday. No, yeah, it was Saturday. I was rough. Friday was the
Okay. We're live on YouTube and we are under recording right now, so.
I think the city judge has a pool on how many times I said I love you on Saturday.
Okay, it's John, is he back with us here?
Up, Jack.
Is John on?
Yes,
I'm here.
John's here.
Okay, I didn't hear him. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Oh, hi, Jack.
Hi, Linda.
He looks like just a little miniature John.
We've got two Jacks here. We got our
Yeah.
new city attorney, Jack Hart. Hello, Jack.
Hello.
This is my son, Jack. He's gonna hold the Bible for me.
Well, no kidding. That's great.
Yeah, he looks great.
Okay, it's I have 6:30. I think we have everybody on.
Hmm.
All right, and just let me check one thing and I'll be right with everybody and we'll start. Ready to go? Okay.
Alderman Panis, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
We don't get to see the loveliness of your truck tonight.
Not unless you need to.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, we are recording. We are live on YouTube. So I will call the meeting to order. This is the annual meeting of the Olean Common Council, Monday, January 4th, 2021. And we're doing it by Zoom. We have everybody on. Okay, nobody else waiting in the waiting room, so we're ready to go. So roll call. Lens Marshall, would you call the roll?
Sure. Alderman Witt,
Here.
Alderman Panis,
Here.
Alderman Doughty,
Here.
Alderman Crawford,
Yes, here.
Alderman Robinson,
I'm here.
Alderman Anastasia,
Here.
and Alderman Gonzalez.
Here.
Okay. We have with us tonight the Reverend Kim Rossi from St. Stephen's Episcopal Church to do duty invocation. Kim, would you give us the invocation, please?
Let us pray. Holy God, known to us by many names and beyond all names, we have lived through a very challenging and difficult year and now enter into a new year with the fortitude to face the challenges that come before us. We ask your blessing on these people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. Help them as leaders to not ask first, how do we fix this? But what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? And to whom do we need to listen? Remind them that they are not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is their responsibility to serve the common good of all, that no matter where we live, everyone of all religious beliefs, with no religious beliefs, of all colors or ethnicities, gay or straight or transgender, are our neighbors and our siblings. That throughout the ages, prophets had called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, or spirit, the strangers and the immigrants in our midst, and those who live on the margins, those who are alone, those who are forgotten. Gracious God, grant them the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they always be guided by the spirit of community, the spirit of justice, and the spirit of love. And may they always know that we, the community that they serve, are here to support them, uphold them, and be with them as they face these challenges and walk this journey together. This we all pray in your name, and of all that we hold sacred and holy, and all that we hold good and right and true. Amen.
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 Thank you, Reverend Rossi.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stand and recite the pledge. Our flag, here's our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is it okay, Mayor, if I leave now?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the privilege to be with you tonight. God bless you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
With you.
Okay. Okay, we now move to unfinished council business. We will have the oath of office for Alderman Witt, Alderman Gonzalez, and Alderman Crawford. Nick is in he's actually under Tiffany on the screen. So he will be giving you the oath of office. So Nick, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, Alderman, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me, obviously filling in your name where it goes blank. I
Linda Witt,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Charter of the City of Olean,
and the Charter of the City of Olean,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
and I will,
Say that
yes, I
will well and faithfully discharge
the duties
of
of the office that I am in. Sorry,
The office.
So help you God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. A little easier in person, isn't it?
It is.
Next year, if we're still doing this, let's do them one at a time.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
babe.
Okay. Unfinished business, election of the council president. So at this time, I will entertain a motion for council president.
Mayor, I'd like to nominate John Crawford for president.
Okay,
Mayor, I'd like to second that nomination.
do we have any other nominations for president, City of Olean Common Council? Do we have any other nominations for president, City of Olean Common Council? Hearing none, nominations are now closed. So we have John Crawford, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, none opposed? Okay, John, congratulations. You are now the new council president for 2021.
Congratulations, John.
Close there, John.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Jack. You did a good job.
Hey, wait a minute. Gil did a good job too.
Yes, yes. But we like
He's
to
not as
honor
cute, I
our,
know.
we like to honor our youth for the good things they
That's true.
do. Okay. All right. Now we have the State of the City address. So you have to bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to try to, let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. I believe I'm ready to go here. So it is my pleasure to welcome Reverend Kim Rossi, pastor of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, Judge Nicholas DeSerbo Jr., newly appointed City Attorney John Hart, my wife Patty, my family and friends, members of the media, members of the Common Council, our department heads, city employees, and most of all, you, those in the virtual world tonight. If you told me last year that I would be giving my State of the City address on a computer platform called Zoom, and it would be aired on YouTube, well, I would have never believed you and thought I could do it. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. But in 2020 has proven that as individuals and as a community, we can rapidly process information and adjust to circumstances. And here in the city of Olean, we quickly adapted and made the necessary changes to keep our staff and those whom we serve as safe as possible, given the circumstances. City employees throughout the pandemic have continued to maintain the service necessary for our residents, and I am thankful for their dedication to the wonderful community that we serve. Over the past year, COVID-19 virus was a consideration in every decision we made as the city of Olean. And as you'll see, the path that we charted during 2020 will allow Olean to continue our restoration and renaissance despite being hindered by side effects of global pandemic. The commitment of our Common Council and our city employees is commendable. It is always an honor to work with them and find the solutions to drive our great city forward. As we hit obstacles such as this virus, their collective problem-solving abilities and creativity gave us a moment to plow through. They gave us the momentum to plow through the hurdles that we met. We have come a long way, and it's because we work together, make necessary compromise, and persist until projects are completed. Seeing lights in the former manufacturer's Hanover building is proof of our perseverance and grit and our ability to work together and solve monumental problems. Last year, my speech included a timeline. It is worth repeating and adding the new year to it. Because Olean residents have worked hard to keep our community vital and make it appealing and comfortable for the next generation. In 2014, the city started work on a North Union Transformation Project. Under Mayor Witt's administration, 2 years later, we were able to cut the ribbon on the newly refurbished street with new water, electric, and gas lines. Expansion of walkable city resumed this year when construction started on walkable Olean Phase 2 on Main Street from North Union Street to Front. Please take notice of the new traffic pattern and both the street and traffic lights, These additions aid pedestrians and drivers as they manage one of the busiest intersections in our community. The brownfield site off Buffalo Street and Homer Street had been vacant for as long as I can remember. But after the site went through an extensive cleanup, the city received $1 million in Restore New York grant funds from Empire State Development to assist in redevelopment. In addition to the city receiving $416,000 in funding to aid the HK Olean Hotel project on the site. Construction on the hotel was proceeding last year at this time. Unfortunately, COVID struck and shut down the project for a bit. But if you take a ride past the hotel at night, you will see lights on inside the hotel and construction has resumed. Homer Day Solar Farm occupied a huge portion of the brownfields. It continues to collect energy from the sun and helps the city reduce electric expenses, allowing us to keep our city lights shining brightly. The lights at Bradner Stadium were not turned on very often this year. The pandemic took its toll on the leagues that use the facility, but the stadium, which took a decade to refurbish and was the dedicated project for 3 mayors, is ready for next summer and new exciting events. The lights are also on in a building in the 100 block of West State Street, sold by the URA to Jeff Belt 2014. The buildings now house the Tri-County Art Council with a gallery and art facilities and creative classes right in the center of downtown district. In 2015, I started a blight task force. Our city was being overtaken by blighted houses. Over the past 5 years, our department heads have worked together to conquer the blight and have done an excellent job. They deserve a commendation for the work they have done. Olean Community Development applied for and received not 1, but 2 listed zombie grants. As a result, we now have zombie coordinator, and the city has worked with the county land bank to demolish some of the eyesores in our community. Also in 2015, the city completed with the DEC consent order the work started on the $23 million upgrade to our wastewater treatment plant with the help of an interest-free loan. Today, that project is complete. In addition, in 2015, we received a grant to revitalize North 3rd Street. And within a year, the beautiful street in the Oak Hill Historical District was restored. The Common Council adopted a new water policy also in 2015, which addressed many issues that exist in the collection of water and sewer payments. In 2016, we upgraded the city's parking policy, allowing for 2 hours of free parking on the business streets. The Common Council also changed the local law, which allowed us to boot cars and collect unpaid tickets, which at that point had grown to well over $200,000. In 2017, the Common Council amended the city code to add the new property management and residential occupancy code, another arrow in their quiver to fight against blight. In April of that year, after the skating season was completed and the home show was wrapped up, the construction vehicles moved into the William O. Smith Recreation Center. A grant package was used to finance the $3.3 million project. By September, the new ice rink had opened and started the first of 3 in a row banner years. September was a good month in 2017 because we got notification that the city received the $10 million downtown revitalization initiative from New York State. It was great news, and we are beginning to see the results of this investment. In 2018, a grant from Marianne and Eric Lane enabled us to restore the entrance to Oak Hill Park. In addition, our Community Development and Codes Office pooled resources and partnered with the land bank. Together, they were able to demolish 15 blighted properties. An additional 22 properties were demolished in 2019. 2019 was a great year for our park system. Lincoln Park opened in the summer, and the open air facility was a godsend during 2020. With public buildings closed and social distancing the norm, Lincoln Park was used consistently for support groups, service clubs, and social meetings. It was so beneficial to have this alternative, and it was great to see people filtering through our beautiful park. Construction of the facility was made possible by a number of grants from the Western New York Regional Economic Development Council, Cattaraugus County, and the former Senator Catherine Young. Grants from Kaboom, Keurig Dr. Pep were applied for, and in 2019, we were able to build Trailhead Parklet on Whitney Avenue and upgraded King Street Park. Again, the open air facilities were invaluable during the summer of 2020. A few of the other projects we initiated since 2014, upgrades to York Street and Prospect Avenue, completion of the T hangar at the airport, upgrades to more than 25 streets, installation of new playground equipment in Homer Hill, and the Common Council adopted a form-based code. In 2018, the Urban Renewal Agency named Savarino as a preferred developer of the former Siegel Shoe Store and Manufacturers in Hanover building. The building was allocated $2 million of the DRI money to renovate and stabilize the building. In 2019, the building qualified for an additional $500,000 from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, and an additional $200,000 from the Empire State Development for a roof stabilization project. The URA had to complete the stabilization project, and it needed to be timely and completed within a specified time in 2020 for the transfer to take place. I want you to imagine that for a few moments. In 2020, as we contend with the shortages, lockdowns, and virus, the URA portion of the stabilization project had to be completed by a specific time for the transfer of the property to take place. It took the strength and determination of the URA, the agency's director, Carrie Kerper, and her Office of Community Development. It also took the discipline of numerous contractors, including R.E. Kelly, as well as the enthusiasm of Savarino Company to pull it off, which they did. The transfer took place in November. And just a few weeks ago, in the darkest days of December, we saw the building illuminated for the first time after almost 3 decades of darkness. It was a miracle. It wasn't a miracle. It came from hard work and determination and true grit. I mentioned the Downtown Revitalization Initiative earlier of the $10,000. The city of Olean received $5.5 million for public work projects. During 2020, work started on a number of projects. We are currently working with a consultant to improve North Union Street streetscape through beautification, appropriate lighting, seasonal banners, sidewalk replacement, and seating. This project will be completed in the summer of 2021. Other projects that were funded through the DRI, the South Union Street Gateway, the project is ongoing, mapping and project location and surveying data has been completed. Walkable Olean Forestry will upgrade a portion of East State. A designer has been hired, and we are expecting to go to bid in the spring. Oak Hill Park improvements, we are working with the Oleand Theater Workshop, and Plywood Studios has been hired for design and scope work. West State streetscape, the mapping of the project location and surveying data has been completed. Switching gears to the current year, the city continues to operate within the tax cap according to Auditor Fred Saradin. In fact, in 2020, we chose not to raise taxes or the water or sewer rates in order to support our taxpayers as they struggle with the financial burdens brought by the pandemic. In addition, we were able to add to the fund balance of the general fund, keeping us well above the balance suggested by New York State Comptroller. Our department heads are to be commended for understanding the situation and adjusting their budgets appropriately. The city again received a clean report from the independent auditors. Our sales tax revenues have been hit by the pandemic. It decreased for the period June to December 2020, but the decrease is not as bad as we anticipated. Unfortunately, our AIM funds from New York State was reduced by 20% in October, and we anticipate that March payment will be cut by 20% as well. This means that our revenues from AIMS is down about $448,000. Our healthcare insurance will increase by 3.34%, a very favorable rate compared to other municipalities in the region. This is due to our good experience and utilization of our employees. The city clerk's office, managed by Lenz Marshall, collected $32,750 in revenues from our parking lots over the past year. Parking ticket revenue was $72,190. Revenue from vital records included $44,297 from birth, death, and copies of marriage certificates. 148 marriage tickets were issued. As mayor, I officiated a number of marriages in my office, one of the honors and great pleasures of being Olean's mayor. I didn't celebrate as many this year because COVID, but one couple used Zoom to broadcast their marriage vows to friends and family. Over the past year, the IT department has met the challenges of COVID-19 quickly and with innovative skills. In March, they helped a number of employees to transition to working at home. They also set us up to be able to video conference to hold our common council meetings as well as those of the boards and committees on Zoom. The city assessor's office, under the direction of Greg Piota, reported that we had 142 arm-length home sales in 2020, with the average home sale price of $87,500, an increase of $12,500 over last year. Oleand's Department of Public Works has been very busy in 2020. Director Bob Ring reports that the department is currently in the midst of 11 capital projects. Projects that were started during 2020 include Walkable Olean Phase 2 project, which is scheduled for completion in June of 2021. Stardust Ireland Pump Station, also scheduled for completion in 2021. The Fluoridation Well House Improvement Project has been awarded to Kinley Corporation and is slated to start in the spring of 2021. Washington Street Waterline Phase 1 is complete with the exception of the milling and paving. It includes improvements of the intersection at North 4th and Lawrence and Washington Street. Phase 2 of the project is ongoing. Times Square entrance is ongoing. However, the entrance is currently functional and is very well designed for handicap accessibility. Capital projects that are slated for 2021 include Walkable Olean Phase 3, North Union Streetscape, and South Union Street complete design. Capital projects that are slated for 2022, Oak Hill Park Project, South Union Street Project, and West State Street DRI. There are a number of upgrades taking place at the airport that are grant funded, including a fuel pump card reader replacement project. This $35,000 project is funded by Cattaraugus County. The HVAC is being replaced in the main hangar and offices. This is funded by New York State DOT multi-mogul grant. A runway rehabilitation project in the works and is likely started in 2023. The project is 95% funded by the FAA. Cattaraugus County and CARES Act will also help fund the project. 33 homeowners took part in the sidewalk rebate program since its inception in 2020. The city contributed $22,357 and we are anticipating about $14,000 from property owners. The Department of Public Works works on a number of projects during the summer, included painting the rec center and War Vets Pavilion, milling and paving a number of streets, patching blacktop and sealing cracks on streets as needed, improving the bike and pedestrian trails, replace the electrical service in the recreation center, and stabilizing Firehouse Number 1. The Olean Police Department continues to keep the city safe. This year, the police department, managed by Chief Jeff Raleigh, implemented and activated the body camera program utilizing 56,000 in federal grants to do so. In addition, the department applied new procedures to be in compliance with the recently adopted New York State discovery law. An additional officer was added to the force to handle a new task and that was required by law. Over the course of the year, the city had 3 large protests, and the Olean Police Department handled them professionally and without arrest or injuries. The virus has hindered the Olean Police Department's community engagement to some extent, but officers were able to participate in the program with CARES, in which they interact with children to discuss substance abuse. This is an annual program and is well received by the public. Members of the police department also participated in the Halloween candy drop. As mayor, I recently appointed the Police Reform Committee in compliance with Governor Cuomo's executive order, which requires communities to convey to stakeholders for fact-based and honest dialogue about public safety needs in their community. The committee consists of an excellent group of community members who have volunteered their valuable time and expertise to make Olean a safe community for all members of our diverse population. The police department will see a major change in personnel later this month when Chief Rowley retires and Sergeant Ron Richardson will become Olean's police chief. I thank Chief Rowley for 30 years of service and wish him well in his retirement. The fire department responded to a total of 3,146 calls in 2020. There were 18 structure fires, and on Labor Day weekend, they responded to 47 calls during the windstorm. Chief Robert Bell retired in February, and Lieutenant Tim Richardson became the new chief. And his first challenge came very shortly thereafter, as the department played an important part in our local fight against Corona-19. Corona-19 operations started in his department on March 5th. The department worked with the city, the county, and Western New York region to deliver PPE, decontaminated vehicles, assist with shelter placement, evaluated quarantine patients, and transported COVID patients with serious signs and symptoms. The department continues to meet and coordinate efforts with Olean General Hospital, Cattaraugus County Health Department, and New York State Department of Health Bureau of EMS on a weekly basis. The department had a number of personnel change during the year. Captain Conley and Zink retired. Lieutenant Bullers and Lieutenant Merard were promoted to captains. Firefighter Gaylor, Nate Vino, Bauer, and Eisman were promoted to lieutenants. In addition, 2 firefighters EMS have graduated from the paramedic school. The department graduated 2 recruits from an in-house training program and another recruit from a training program run with the city of Salamanca. The department participated in several community events, including city and YMCA Halloween activities, gift tree, holiday meal deliveries for interfaith caregivers, and they participated in a modified Santa Claus Lane parade. The department also presented a hybrid fire prevention program to students and conducted a number of drive-up apparatus demonstrations for kids who would have normally visited the station, but were unable because of COVID restrictions. The Code Enforcement Office had a very busy year. The new landlord inspection law, which was implemented in 2019, continues to be very beneficial to our community. The law gives our code enforcement officer more power to have buildings and units brought back to minimum standards and blighted properties brought into compliance. This year, the code office completed 2,166 inspections. The code office issued 362 permits totaling about $42,490 during the year, with a valuation of about $3.2 million. And on the blight front, the office reported that 35 structures were demolished. Of those, the city directly involved in 4, the land bank at 8, and private entities completed the other 18. In addition, 2 billboards and 3 garages were demolished. Olean Youth and Rec was hard hit by the COVID-19 restrictions, but under the direction of Chris Schwery, it was able to quickly adapt to the regulations, especially when they were being relaxed in the summer. The department was able to deliver a modified recreation program for 5 weeks during the summer. Over 120 students registered for the program, and various activities were offered and allowed to social distance and increase sanitation. The department quickly opened up franchise pool when New York State allowed it. The schedule and capacity limits were modified in accordance with the state guidelines. Because it was a warm, dry summer, the pool saw an average of over 100 swimmers in the 3 different swim sessions daily for 6 weeks that it was open. Fall and winter recreation programs have been operated since early September at the former St. John's School. The program allowed for social distancing and safe activities of the kids. In addition, the department has started to offer some virtual recreation activities for both the seniors and the youth program. The Olean Area Youth Court has recruited 4 new student members, and the court is continuing in its mission to combat juvenile delinquency. Most of the Bartlett House events were canceled in 2020 because of the virus. However, volunteers once again decorated the house for the Victorian Christmas and opened it during the season for small and safe tours. As I mentioned earlier, the Community Development Office, managed by Carrie Kerper, was instrumental in preparing for the transfer of the bank and Siegel's shoes to Savarino Company. The office administered the grant from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation and Historic Preservations and Empire State Development for the stabilization project. The office was successful in extending this $200,000 funding award from the New York State Homes and Community Renewal to implement a micro enterprise assistance programs to assist in the establishment and expansion of the micro enterprise business for the city. The project funded included 3 unique business startups and 2 existing businesses. Community Develop is administering the DRI domain project that totaled $5.5 million and was highlighted earlier. The department also successfully applied for a 2020 New York State Urban Forestry Council tree grant. The grant will fund a grove of trees at Fornes Park to be planted on Arbor Day, April 30th. That April 30th, I believe, is 2021 that it'll be planted because we just got the grant. In addition to the department was awarded a $32,750 grant that was at the Department of Environmental Conservation to complete a tree inventory and management plan. It has been interesting. It has been an interesting year, and I am very proud of how the community has worked through the challenges that we faced. Our community volunteers continued to help us keep the litter off the streets, and he continued to work in our gardens. Unfortunately, the Oleand Beautification Committee could not meet very often this year, but you couldn't tell that by the gardens and the potted plants along North Union Street. The committee's work was outstanding in that regard. I received a number of calls the week in June when the planters were distributed. People were disheartened and isolated, and it had been a long spring and the weather had been dreary. Our residents needed something to lift their spirits, and the planters were the remedy. I thank the committee for their hard work and look forward to what they have in store for the next year. The committee is currently working with our consultants on the North Union Streetscape portion of the DRI, which will be implemented next summer. I have a feeling that the gardens will look great. During the summer, we had a series of town hall meetings that were well attended. Prior to the meetings, we had a number of protests in Olean, and there was an anger that if left unchecked, could destroy our community. I wanted to be proactive and determine how the city could prevent further damage, so I hosted these meetings and members of the Common Council attended them. The meetings proved to be very interesting and enlightening. In fact, a number of the attendees now serve on 2 committees that were appointed during the year. The Equity and Inclusion Committee will make the recommendations on city policy, practices, and procedures in order to ensure fair and equitable treatment for all Olean residents and city employees. The committee will also identify and address inequities facing underrepresented populations in the city community. The other committee, the Police Reform Committee, I discussed earlier in the police section. Both committees are meeting via Zoom and are working hard on their missions. I appreciate the time and effort these volunteers are giving to make our city an inviting community. Our world took a strange turn this year. There were some very scary and gloomy days, and unfortunately, there may be more. Despite the different circumstances of 2020, we close the year on a bright note. Lights are turned on in the old bank, lights are turned on in the old bank, in the old brownfields, and Santa Claus Lane was brightly lit up throughout the holiday season. We have to face these times with optimism and hope. My grandfather was an optimist and taught us the importance of a positive attitude. He always used to tell me that there are only 2 ways to look at things, the good way and the bad way, a positive way and a negative way. His meaning was clear and obvious. He was very practical and sensible. After my 7th year as mayor of this wonderful city, I would have to amend his advice a bit. I would say, be positive and optimistic always. It's so easy to be negative, and negativity doesn't not make anything better. It makes things worse. And when a small city like ours is faced with the consequence of a deadly virus, we need to be confident that our future will be bright. In fact, it has to be the will of our residents to ensure a bright future for the next generation. There's no other option. Try this little exercise. Say the word yes out loud. The word carries a cheery note in it, pleasant, happy, encouraging, positive, and friendly. That S at the end of the word, when it is pronounced, implies that the word never ends. Now say the word no out loud. It's just ends. It's vacant, blank, and fades into nothingness. So I ask residents to be positive about Olean, to say yes to Olean, to say yes to our future. Let's continue to make it a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. God bless America. God bless our city of Olean. God bless the city of Olean, New York. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Okay. So I now need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Paul and
Seconded by Linda.
seconded by Linda. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Hey, Bill,
Yes,
just real quick, we're not planning for a meeting for tomorrow. Is that correct?
I don't believe so. We don't have the amount of time to advertise it. So I think our next meeting will be following Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
New council president also has to select the committees, which restart every first of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank you,
job,
Bob.
Bill.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.